The sun still shines. The birds still chirp. But the world is an altogether different world. The sun is dim indeed. After what happened this Sunday, we are in the midst of the shiva of the satmar rebbe, who was niftar. And how could we enjoy the chirping of the birds when the koil hatayra v'hatfila of tzaddik zachayna l'bracha have been silenced? I was zeicher to be a neighbor to the rebbe zachayna l'bracha. I lived on his block. I saw many things. Sometimes, coming back from a late wedding, 3 o'clock in the morning, I would pass by his lit windows. I would peek in and see him over his Sfarim Akdashim, being Isaac Batayra. Sometimes, for certain reasons, I would find myself in the streets at 5 o'clock in the morning. I would peek in his windows, as I habitually did whenever I passed, to learn what the tzaddik is doing. And I would see him being Isaac b'avodas Hashem. Except for Shabbos, he never went to bed. Sometimes slumbered off over his table for a few minutes, or for a half hour, and then continued in his avodas HaKodesh. On the same block lived Rebbe Zachayna l'bracha, the great renowned Rosh Yeshiva, the son-in-law of Rebbe Zachayna l'bracha, the Rosh Yeshiva of the Maspid B'Torah V'das. He was the only person to whom Reb Aaron Kotler Zal looked up to. And Reb Ruvain very often went into the satmar rebbe to discuss things with him. Shailas and Torah, problems in Hadracha, in Hashkafa. And when he walked out, he raised his hands. I am Mekana that yid. I envy the satmar rebbe, he said. The entire Torah is open to him. And people from distant continents kept flocking to my block to stand in the line for hours and hours and get a bracha from the tzaddik, the Rebbe Zachayna l'bracha. And when they did get the bracha, they were convinced that the bracha has registered in heaven. I consider myself so lucky to be a tiny fragment in the human mass consisting of thousands and thousands of people who crowded together in this big shul to listen to his tefillah, to his divrei Torah, to his kriyas ha-megillah. His greatness, as has been mentioned before, has been attested to last Sunday when, by the account of the local press and the New York Times, 100,000 people came together to give the kavod ha'achra to the satmar rebbe Zachayna l'bracha. And all of these people, except for the few hundred residents of Monroe, all of these people traveled in from out of town. The Rebbe Zal was a controversial person. He was quite unhappy about the establishment of the state of Israel. And he had a lot of opposition. He was opposed, but respected. People knew that he is the truth. They opposed his opinion, but respected the person. Why? Why did he oppose the state of Israel? He was afraid that people are going to take this establishment of the states as the geula achareinu. They're going to have a misconception that this is Mashiach. And I myself have heard in those days of the establishment of the states, people referring to the establishment as the geula, and to David ben Gurion, by virtue of his name, as Mashiach ben David. And that's what he was afraid of. And that's why he went to extremes. He fought like a lion. He fought for what is the truth. He was a man of truth. Everybody knew that he represents the truth. And he wanted a pure and unadulterated truth. And he was looking forward, like any Maimon, like any Yid who believes in the Ani Maimons, he was looking forward to a pure and unadulterated Geula, as outlined in the Rambam. And Hilchos Melachim. V'yim Yamid Melech mi Beis David. And when they came from the house of David, will emerge Haige Batayra, who is a maspid in Torah, v'yaisik b'mitzvahs, and is doing mitzvahs, kedavid aviv, a tzaddik like David's grandfather, kifi Torah shebiksav v'shebiyalpeh, according to the Torah shebiksav and the Torah shebiyalpeh. V'yikayv kol Yisrael la'yelechbeh, and he will compel all of Yisrael to go in the ways of the Torah. U'lechazaik bitka, and to secure whatever has to be secured in the Torah. And he's going to battle the battles of the Rebbeinu Shalom. If you have a person of such description, he can be considered that he is Mashiach. And if he did so and was successful, and built up the Beis HaMikdash B'Mekayim at its place, the key Beis Nitcha Yisrael, and he gathered together the diaspora of Yisrael. Hareza Mashiach B'Vada, he is certainly Mashiach. V'Yisaken as ha'olam kulay, and he will put the entire world in order, Lavid as Hashem b'yachad, to serve the Rebbeinu Shalom together. Shene'emar, like the pasuk says, Ki az. Then, when Mashiach will come, I will turn to the peoples, with a distinct consent. They all shall call in the name of Hashem, and worship the Rebbeinu Shalom in unison. This is the Rambam's description of Mashiach. And this is the Mashiach that the satmar rebbe was waiting for. And by admission of his adversaries, the satmar rebbe was declared correct. About 13 years ago, when he was seriously bedridden, and even all over the world were misspelled for him, Rabbi Soloveichik of Hebrew University was addressing a Mizrahi conference. And he said then, Rabbi Sahi said, we all have to be mispalel for the satmar rebbe, for his health, because he keeps us in check. If not for him, we would all have been already overboard. The fact that we remain Yidden is because in our plan, we always take into consideration how is the satmar rebbe going to react? By the admission of Rabbi Soloveichik of the Mizrahi organization. The sun shines dim by Yidden who believe. The chirp of the birds is muffled because the satmar rebbe is here no more. But there was a satmar rebbe with us, and because of that, you and I, we all believe in B'yat HaMashiach. We still believe because of his constant checking and his constant fighting as a lion for the true B'yat HaMashiach. And because of that, we are all still fortunate to be ma'aminim, to believe in the Yud Gimel Ikrim. In the Ikr especially, of Ani Ma'amin B'Emunah Shleima B'B'yat HaMashiach. Mashiach, as the Rambam has it. And we will continue to believe because of this tzaddik until the day that the sun shines bright and the birds revel in song with the announcement of B'yat HaMashiach. So who say Yogan Alayim?